Welcome to the past and present. The British Guiana 1 cent Magenta. Why it's so expensive? The reason is that it's the only one in the world. There's only one, no other. Let's get into the history that how it evolved such an expensive stamp. The British Guiana 1 cent Magenta was last showcased in 2021 after it was sold at an auction in New York for a massive $8.3 million. It's known as the world's rarest and most expensive stamp. It was previously owned by the renowned shoe designer Stuart Weitzman. It also stands out because previous owners, including John DuPont and Stuart Weitzman, have signed the back of the stamp. The 1 cent Magenta is considered the most expensive item by the weight in the world. The stamp can be dated back to 1856 and is officially called the British Guiana 1 cent Black on Magenta. The 1 cent Magenta was discovered by a 12-year-old schoolboy. His name was Vernon Vaughan. Surprising, isn't it? He was looking at some papers in his family in 1873 and he found this stamp. And he sold this stamp for 6 shillings back in days, always believing he will find another one. The stamp then exchanged hands until it was auctioned in 1922. At the time, it was bought for a little over 7,000 British pounds. It became known as the world's most expensive stamp. It was held privately until 1933 and sold to an anonymous collector in 1940s. In New York on 24th of March 1970, a syndicate bought the stamp for $280,000 and later is sold to Robert A. Siegel, auctioneer of New York, for $935,000, and that was sold to John DuPont. In 2014, it was sold to Stuart Weitzman. Today, the 1 cent Magenta belongs to Stanley Gibbons, who returned the stamp to London, where it belonged to. In an exciting twist, they also opened up ownership of British Guiana 1 cent Magenta to everyone through fractional share ownership. So if you didn't know that, alright, you can get your hands on it because it's very expensive. It can give you some benefits in future. It's not the only sales history which is interesting, but also how the stamp was created and developed. The first stamps of British Guiana were in use from 1st July 1850. They were printed at the offices of the Royal Gazette in Georgetown, the capital of the colony. The design was created by bending a length of copper printer's rule into a rough circle, setting British Guiana around the inside and placing the value in a straight line across the center. To aid identification, each value was printed on a different colored paper, and due to fears that stamps would be relatively easy to copy, each had to be initialed by the postal officers. The design needed to be more secure, so the printing company at the time, Waterloo and Sons of London, were tasked with this. And on 1st of January 1850, stamps were issued. However, the supply didn't always match demand, and in 1856, officials had to print some stamps at the Royal Gazette. That's the brief history of this stamp. Now the interesting part is that this there is only one stamp left in the world, all right, and which can be sold in fractions. So get your hands on that before it's gone. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.